All right, we're with Lewisville head football coach Will Mitchell. The Lions are just about to kick off the 2020 season. Let's kind of go back to last year. First of all, you guys got off to a really good start. Injuries bite big time. You were dressing less than 20 for a good stretch of games. Went into those last two games. I pretty much having to have both of them to get in the playoffs. And with I think 16 players, you won a game against North Central and then beat Chesterfield to get in the playoffs. Just kind of detail how that carried forward into this year.
Well, the North Central game we felt like was pretty pivotal for us. We played without Dimitri Carden, which everybody knew was our big Shrine Bowl from last year. We went in, we had been hit by injuries to this point. We actually dressed, I think, 18 for that game, 18 or 19. But we'd been bit by injuries to the point where we literally had to alter what we were doing on offense and defense a little bit, more so on offense. And went in there and got down 16-0 at the half. And there wasn't any big rousing speech or all kids fired up at each other at the half or anything like that. It was more like the couple, they just felt like they could do better in that game against the people they were playing. And they kind of kept pulled together tighter and pulled together tighter. And then once we got momentum, we popped a run about halfway through the third quarter, got momentum. And that's the funny thing. After that, the kids are all pulling out, and we ended up pulling out on a field goal or an interception return late to win it. Felt like that really showed our kids that you don't always have to sit there and wait for the big star to step up. Somebody else can step up and make a play. In that game, we probably had 6 to 8 people that had different. You go back and look at the game, they had their moment where they made a crucial play that maybe we didn't know it then, but it ended up being pivotal in our victory that night. And it was truly, truly a team victory.
Of course, it got hard for anybody to carry much forward from last year because you guys are about to start spring practice, and of course we end up in a pandemic, and athletics suspended for a long time. So you lost spring practice and the 7-on-7 season in the summer. But there were a couple of positives to the way things played out for you guys athletically.
Yeah, no question. We felt like our January and February we were having just a banner year in the weight room, and it was, we were making huge gains in strength and speed. Then COVID happened, and but we were unlucky. We in Chester County, our administration at the district and school level figured out a way to get us back out on the field sooner than a lot of people. The athletic director and the assistant coaches and everybody pulled together, our custodial staff, everybody, to make as safe an environment as possible over the summer. We had a few quarantines, a couple cases that were completely isolated where they never came back when they had it, stuff like that. There's no exposure. We just felt like we did as good a job of safety as we could have. And then by the time we got season started, a normal summer is 6 weeks of working out. And usually our freshman camp aren't going, that's not enough time. This year we got 10 weeks of working out before we actually started practice. So I feel like that's had an impact on our freshman class, being able to maybe help us a little sooner, which is exciting for us. But those things were good. And so far, we were able to build that momentum back up a little bit and hopefully carry it now in the season.
After 2 years up in 2A, when you were by far the smallest school in terms of enrollment in your region, back in 1A, which is obviously very familiar for you and for the Lewisville program. But so now Great Falls is a region game again. You get Lamar again. And those certainly aren't soft touches, but
no.
But at least in terms of enrollment, it's a little bit more of a level playing field.
Well, we feel like and it was. We do feel like we're a little bit. We don't have a notch against us walking in the door, and we felt like that sometimes last year from a depth standpoint. It's just as competitive because we got, I think, 2 top 10 teams or top 15, depending on what rankings you look at, the Great Falls and Lamar in the region. McBee's made 1 playoff games each of the last couple of years. C.A. Johnson beat us 2 years ago. I don't know if the actual region part of it is not necessarily easier, but I think it's probably mental as much as anything because our kids couldn't help but sometimes have in their head this is a bigger school. This school's going to have some type of advantage over us. As much as we as coaches tried to, not let them hit on that too much. But I think it did pop up, especially when we get hit by injuries to the extent we had the last couple of years, and you have the depth problems. And kids look around and you say, well, who else goes in this spot? And there's just not anybody else. And so they look across the sideline and see 40 or 50 dressed out. So it was a mental thing against some of our kids. But hopefully we're past all that.
Both offensively and defensively, there's going to be a little bit of a different look for the Lions this year. You've been pretty much a spread team since you arrived at Lewisville in 2012, and that'll still be featured some, but sure, that's not really going to be the base of what you do anymore.
Well, we've tried in the past to have kind of a spread. We've been a spread team. We like to spread the field and throw it because we feel like we've got the kids to do it, and we usually spend a lot of time working on that in the summer. And we've always had a power aspect to our football team, but we've kind of flipped that. We've kind of tried to build this team a little bit more around power and speed and around running the football. We have to do some things to help our defense out some, to get them to spend less time on the field, control the ball a little bit more, and it fits the kids we have right now too. Now, as you said, we'll still have a spread aspect to our package. I feel like you need to be able to run and throw the ball, and to compete at a late round championship level. You have to be able to do both, and you have to be able to play defense. So we're going to try it and see how this works. It fits our people. A year from now, we got some. I look at the different people. Our offense doesn't necessarily change as much as our emphasis, what we're emphasizing, and what we're kind of hanging our hat on. That changes from year to year. So a little bit more running back by committee this year.